Hi, everybody. Um, I really appreciate you guys tuning in to our YouTube channel to watch the video that I'm recording. Again, I'm very sorry that we're not meeting together in person to worship, to have our Sunday morning church. Um, but as I described in the email, I just uh, didn't feel very comfortable about doing this. I know there's a lot of people that are sick, and in fact, Amy and Matthew have been really pretty sick for the last couple of days, and I noticed this evening that I'm running a low fever. It is Saturday night. I'm recording this about a little after 10 o'clock, and Matthew and Amy are already in bed, and I'll be heading up for bed shortly. But I did want to record just a devotional that I wanted to share with you, and it really kind of stems off of an email that I received a day or so ago from our superintendent, John Lane. Um, John Lane is our superintendent. He's one of the people that I answer to that um, gives leadership to our conference. He sent an email. And near the very top of the email, he asked the question almost immediately. It might have even been the first words that he said in the email. And those words were, "Are we really still here? Are we really still here?" Um, it's New Year's Day, and I've not felt really well all day today. There are a couple of things going on. I'll talk to you about later, but um, it was really kind of a reflective day for me, as New Year's should probably be, right? But I remember thinking how much anticipation I had back when it was getting ready to turn 2020. Year 2020 was going to be the year of perfect vision, and we had all of these goals and things, and the reality is year 2020 was really pretty much a mess. And I remember a year ago thinking, hot dog, 2020 is coming to its end, and we have so much more great stuff to look forward to in 2021. Things are going to be so much better, so much different. And the reality is, yeah, maybe things were better. Maybe things were a little different, certainly the last few months. But I was reading in a couple of places today that in regards to the COVID cases that we have had over the last 2 years, it has now peaked. There are more right now than there has been any time in the last couple of years. And we ask ourselves that question: are we still really here dealing with this? Is this still is this still going on? And I can't help but also be very reflective of the fact that there are a lot of people who have struggled with COVID. And excuse me, I'm just kind of moving some notes around. But there have been a lot of people who have come down with COVID and have done very, very well. Minor nuisance, irritations, struggle, whatever. I know some people who have had more long, lingering kinds of effects, though a lot of that's really kind of in question. But I also can't help but think of three people, all of which I knew and loved and certainly have appreciated. Mark Leffler, a pastor, a one-time pastor in Wabash Conference. Many of you will remember Jeremy Leffler, who was on staff with us at Open Door Church a number of years ago. This is Jeremy's dad, Mark, who passed away just a couple of months ago from COVID. a man who was in good health. I think he was probably close to, 68, maybe 70 years old, I believe. Good health, but he passed away. And then here, quite recently, another very much closer friend of mine, a pastor named Rovenstein. He and I worked together with a lot of different projects, and he was in a cohort that I was in for 2 years, a 2 year long cohort, and he passed away. Again, in very, very, very good health, probably better health than I am. And then we found out a couple of days ago that his twin brother, Jeff, passed away on Christmas Eve of COVID as well. And it makes my head spin. And these are things that have happened very, very recently. And I ask myself, are we still really here dealing with this some 2 years later? And I can't help but wonder and suspect and even kind of fear that this is going to be something that we're going to be dealing with for a long time. I'm hoping and praying that those who do get COVID are able to deal with it easily. That the loss of life will become less and less and less. But these are hard and frustrating things. One thing that I've been thinking an awful lot about is the fact that God gives us many, many promises recorded in His Word. And there are a couple of different promises that I would like to just mention to you again right now. And I'll be honest with you, as your pastor, these are promises that I am hanging on right now, a lot more than I probably have in a long, long time. And I do think that when we find ourselves in difficult places and challenging situations, we certainly have that tendency to want to look to God more than when things are just simple and easy and without struggles. You've heard me say, if you've attended Open Door for any real period of time, you've probably heard me say that one of the easiest places where I served as a pastor was up in Elkhart. And I think the reason why was up in Elkhart, our church was very, very blue collar. In fact, I don't even know. It was probably sub blue collar. Most of the people that attended the church up there either worked in the RV industry or like fast food, maybe grocery store jobs, or if they were fortunate, they worked at the band instrument company up there where that made band instruments. Anyway, my point is, the people seemed very hungry and very eager for the Lord to come and help them and to walk with them. And they continually sought after the Lord because they just felt that just a strong dependency upon the Lord. They didn't have their money to lean on or other things. They leaned upon the Lord. And I think when we find ourselves in the kind of place that we are right now with the uncertainty that we have across the world with this pandemic, of course, but maybe even more so with a lot of the problems and things that we see going on in our own country, I honestly and truly think that they tend to cause us to turn to the Lord and to seek the Lord more than if things were simple and easy. Guys, I am blown away when I go through the list of people who call Open Door Church their church. And as I go through the list, I am mindful of the struggles that so many of you have gone through over the course of these last couple of years. Many have lost loved ones. Many have had job situations just become so difficult. I don't even really know where to begin, but it's just amazing. I think the far majority, nearly everyone on that list of people who call Open Door Church their church, it seems like just about everyone has gone through some incredible challenges and struggles, and I really believe that for the most part, as a result of going through those challenges, we have, as individuals, turned it to the Lord and have sought the Lord out more than we normally would. There are things going on in all of our lives, and I'm certainly not exempt. And it is interesting as we think of those personal things, and as we think of the fact that, yes, guys, in case you were wondering, we are still here in a pandemic with COVID, and a country that's struggling in so many different ways. All of these kinds of things, yes. In case you didn't know, we're still here. So I want to share with you a couple of verses, and I find it very interesting because as I read these verses, and these are thoughts and verses, scriptures that John sent to us as pastors in this email that I've been referring to. And it's funny because I find myself hanging on these a whole lot more. These are promises of God that were recorded for our benefit. And I think the fact that we find ourselves in this kind of a day and age, we are seeking God more desperately than we would otherwise. And for that, I am grateful. Jesus said that he came so that we can have life, and life to the fullest, And I am trusting in that verse that he's going to help us, even in this day and age, regardless of the struggles, that we will continue to have life to the fullest. Jesus promised us that he will never leave us. He will never forsake us. I love that. I hang on those words big time. Another just wonderful promise. Jesus tells us that we can come to him and that he will give us rest. We can come to him if we are weary, if we are tired, if we are just feeling as though we are at the end of our rope. We can come to Jesus and we can find rest. And I think another word that goes right along with that word rest is he will give us peace. And to just experience his peace in these kinds of days. He says also, blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. And I think we all know people who have passed away, different ones. I alluded to 3 pastor friends who have gone on to be with the Lord. And certainly the Lord has given us comfort, has given me comfort and peace in those losses. Jesus said that anyone who believes in him shall live. And we know that even if we were to experience death prematurely in this world, though we die, yet we shall live. I love the fact that the Bible says that we shall know the truth and that the truth will set us free. The fact is, we have talked an awful lot in recent days and weeks about Jesus being the light of the world. And as we follow Jesus and as we allow his light to shine on us, we will find ourselves not in darkness, but we will be set free by the truth that we have and will receive in Christ. The one that kind of tops the list for me is this verse where it says, do not let your hearts be troubled. You trust in God, trust also in me. What a beautiful passage from recorded in the Gospel of John. Do not let your hearts be troubled. I love that. My friends, maybe you have been going through these days and you had a wonderful Christmas and everybody's remained healthy and you're just rejoicing and you've started this new year just bouncing and feeling good about everything that's going on around you. I'm grateful. I'm glad for that. Maybe maybe you've found yourself kind of struggling, maybe asking the question, wow, I can't believe here we are 2 years later and we're still going through these things. To that, I would just simply remind you, do not let your hearts be troubled. You trust in God, trust also in me. These are Jesus's words, and we put our faith and our trust in him. And for that, I am so grateful. My friends, it's not a long message today, I know. But I hope and pray that as I hear the rain pattering on the roof and the windows, knowing that it's supposed to turn to snow later in the morning, I'm hoping that you will just have a nice, restful Lord's Day. Maybe an opportunity to sleep in a little bit more, get some rest. Stay warm in the covers. Watch the video. Maybe look up the different passages that I've made references to in this video, and just enjoy God's presence there in your homes. Guys, I pray for each of you by name often. And I'm certainly continuing to pray for you guys. And I know that God has very, very good things in store for us for 2022. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping that we can all get healthy and get back to church and not be concerned about the things that we hear going on around us, but can focus on ministering the love of Christ to others as he's called us certainly to do. Guys, listen, love you. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for listening to me ramble here for about 17 minutes now. I hope that you've gotten some good things from these words today. I love you guys, as my wife and my family love you all as well. And we're looking forward to getting back together with you guys again soon. God bless.